This is a CBS News special report. I'm Mika Brzezinski in New York. President Bush has just returned to the White House from Camp David following this morning's rescue of 7 POWs in Iraq. The 7 were released by Iraqi troops north of Baghdad this morning. All 7 have since been flown to a military hospital in Kuwait. Here's what the president had to say.
Today's a great day for the families, comrades, loved ones of the 7 missing in action who are free. I'm really pleased for all those who've been praying for their safety, that they are safe. We still have missing in action in Iraq. We will continue to look for them. We pray that they too will be safe and free one of these days. But it's just a good way to start off the morning to have been notified that 7 of our fellow Americans are going to be home here pretty soon in the arms of their loved ones. I'll ask you a few questions, Scott.
Mr. President, Secretary Rumsfeld said today he thinks Syria is harboring some Iraqi leadership. Could Syria face military action?
No, Syria just needs to cooperate with us. I made that clear on Friday. I will, if need be, reiterate it today. The Syrian government needs to cooperate with the United States and our coalition partners and not harbor any Baathists, any military officials, any people who need to be held to account for their tenure during what we are learning more and more about. It was one of the most horrendous governments ever. They just need to cooperate. I think it played. First of all, I know it helps sustain and comfort those who mourn, those who are worried, those who are concerned about their loved ones. I went to the hospital on Friday and met some of our brave troops and their families, and a lot of them told me that they had been sustained by prayer, had been comforted by the Almighty during what had to have been incredibly difficult times for them to get the phone call that a loved one had been wounded or hurt, and then not knowing whether the person would live, and then being able to be reunited with them here in Washington. They told me that they felt like prayers had been answered. Prayer is powerful. One of the great things about this country is a lot of people pray, and I know a lot of people are praying for the families of those who grieve and the families of those who wonder whether or not their loved ones will ever return.
Mr. President, some of our colleagues in Iraq are saying while the Iraqis are grateful that the coalition forces freed them from Saddam Hussein, they're frustrated and even scared about the chaos of losing.
Yeah. It's amazing. The statue comes down on Wednesday and the headlines start to read, "Oh, there's disorder." Well, no kidding. It is a situation that is chaotic because Saddam Hussein created the conditions for chaos. He created conditions of fear and hatred. And it's going to take a while to stabilize the country. But just like the military campaign was second-guessed, I'm sure the plan is being second, but we will be successful. And there will be, finish please, there will be more stability. There will be more medicine. There will be more food delivered over time, and it's happening as I speak. If you got a follow-up question?
I just want to ask what your message is to the Iraqi people who are wondering.
You're free, and freedom is beautiful. And, it'll take time to restore chaos and order, order out of chaos, but we will. Yeah, John.
Sir, given the success of American military forces, is this a message to people like Syrians and North Koreans to take to heart? Do you think the North Koreans are taking it to heart?
Well, John, I think that people got to know that we are serious about stopping the spread of weapons of mass destruction, and that each situation requires a different response, but we are making good progress in North Korea. We have made it clear that we think that the best way to deal with their proliferation is through a multinational forum. It looks like that might be coming to fruition. That's very good news for the people in the Far East who are concerned about North Korea and their willingness to develop nuclear weapons. So we're making progress on all fronts.
Do you think there are weapons of mass destruction in Syria?
I think that we believe there are chemical weapons in Syria, for example, and each situation will require a different response. And of course, first things first, we're here in Iraq now, and the second thing about Syria is that we expect cooperation. And I'm hopeful we'll receive cooperation. All right. Have a beautiful day.
What do you think you'll declare victory? And will you be the one to declare victory?
That's going to be, yes, Friday. Did you watch my press conference on Friday? Do I need to say it again then? Surely you watched it. Yeah. Tommy, no, listen. We set clear objectives here in Washington. We gave our military what they needed to achieve the objectives. And when those objectives are met, we will hear from our commanders on the ground that they have been met. And that's when the so-called victory declaration will come forth.
Mr. President, will you go on national television when
I'm on national television right this second. And it's an honor to be here on national television. And it's a great day to be on national television. 7 Americans are alive. 7 people who were missing are now alive. And I am so pleased for their families and loved ones. It is, Patsy, you got anything? No, we will deal with each situation as it arises. We're making progress on the Korean Peninsula. Everybody knows our position, which is that we expect there to be a nuclear weapons-free peninsula. The good news is it's a position shared by the Chinese. It's a position shared by the South Koreans, and it's a position shared by the Japanese. So we've got common interests. And working together, I am very hopeful we'll be able to achieve those interests diplomatically. Have a great day. Thank you.
President Bush at the White House just minutes ago, and the headline, 7 POWs in Iraq freed and in American custody. Now, the 7 POWs, the 7 freed POWs are Army Specialist Edgar Hernandez, Joseph Hudson, Shosanna Johnson, Private First Class Patrick Miller, and Army Sergeant James Riley, all from the 507th Maintenance Company, as well as Chief Warrant Officer Ronald Young and Chief Warrant Officer David Williams. The 5 members of the 507 were seized by Iraqis after they made a wrong turn on March 23rd. Officers Young and Williams were aboard a downed Apache helicopter. Now, the 7 POWs, if we take a look at some video that came in via video phone from Iraq, were all wearing pajama-like clothing when they were videotaped earlier today upon their rescue by U.S. forces, who immediately surrounded them in a so to speak, circle of safety to make them feel safe once again. They later changed into U.S. Military gear, and from all indications, the soldiers looked thin. 3 reportedly are injured, but all of them are alive. Just yesterday, Jessica Lynch flew home to Walter Reed Hospital, and after her amazing rescue by Special Forces in Iraq, Private First Class Lynch was rescued on April 1st. It was hoped that there would be more Americans coming home, more captured Americans coming home, and there are now 7 more. Stay with CBS and the CBS station for the latest on the freed POWs. I'm Mika Brzezinski, CBS News, New York.